Well, welcome back to part 2 of the apple butter. The first thing we need to do is use our immersion blender to turn it into a nice consistency consistent with the apple butter. It's been cooking for 12 hours, and as you can see, everything has cooked down nicely. And it's already starting to break down, so you know it's ready to be blended with the immersion blender. So I use this relatively inexpensive immersion blender, been using it for years, paid a whole $4 at Goodwill with it. So into the pot it goes, press the button, these blenders want to pull a lot of force down, so you kind of got to use both hands. Make sure you're doing it. You want to make sure that you don't have any chunks left in there. Alright, let's see how our consistency is. Make sure we don't cut any big chunks in there because it looks nice and creamy. But as you can see, it's still very runny. Granted, part of it's because it's warm. But we're going to let it cook now for the next, for about 2 hours with the lids off to allow evaporation to happen to get that moisture out of there. Okay, here we are with the third one. This one is the one that has the peels left on the apples. So again, it's nice and cooked and ready to be blended. Whoop, splashback. So if you notice, because of the peels, it's actually getting stuck in the little blender holes. So we need to make sure I get those out and blend those extra good. Extra well, extra fine, something. See how we're looking. So you notice with the peels it does take a little bit more blending because you don't want those peels chunking up on you. Okay, I'll give you a little update of where I'm at in the process. I've got 12 new jars in a hot water bath in the sink. They're then going to get put on this cookie sheet, and then they will go over to the oven, which is set at 150 degrees, where it will keep them nice and warm and keep them sterilized before they get our apple butter. I'm going to grab a clean spoon and I'm going to show you how well this stuff is already thickened up. So this is the peels, and it's already thickening up and clinging to the spoon. So once it gets cold, it's going to stay even better. And then this is the no peels. Let's see if I can not block the light. Still running. I'm still saying we're gonna let that keep going for a little while longer. And then we'll come over here to the honey, which I tasted, and it is absolutely delicious. But it is still runny too. So like I said, I'm just preparing everything to go in. I've already got the canning bath going. I got it heating up. Takes a little while to heat up that much water. We've got our lids in the water. We'll simmer them when we're ready to start canning, and that way that'll help them seal. So that's about it for now. Still doing some prep work. I'm going to start canning the first batch. The apple butter with the peel on it, it's nice and thick. I went ahead and unplugged it. I've got the canning bath boiling. I've got the cans over here, the lids, heating up in the water. And so what we do, go over to the oven. Get a jar from the oven. Now these are nice and 150 degrees, so we'll be careful not to touch it. Now using this funnel, it's a canning funnel, it should leave me the right headspace as long as I'm careful putting it in right there. Perfect. With these rings, we just tighten them down a little bit. Alright, so that is 7 jars. See the canning bath? We got 7. So we're going to put the lid on there and hit the timer for 10 minutes. I always seem to manage to have not quite a full jar left over, and so what I do is I'm not going to boil it in the canning. Instead, I just go ahead and throw a lid on it and set it to the side, because that will be what I eat first. And you see there's 1 extra jar, so we got 8 3/4 jar out of that batch. So that one's, once these come out, that one will go in and I will start canning up the second variety. Alright, 10 minutes have gone by, so I'm going to pull each of the jars out and give the lids a little turn. And set them over there to cool down. Again, we're not cranking down on those, we're just giving a little turn to snug them up. Alright, so that's 7 jars out of the bath. We're going to get our 8th jar in and start working on the other ones. Alright, so this is going to be a repeat of the last. Grab it from the oven. Here's our handy dandy little funnel. And start scooping. I don't know if you can see in the video, but looking at it, I can see there's a difference in the consistency between this and the ones with the apple butter with the peel. And it seems to be a little lighter in color. Just got a good little going. So we're going to remember that that one's going in the center since that's the first batch. So we don't get them mixed up when I go to label them. Oops. Oh, that doesn't go there. too much. That was a little too much. And there was the second little pop. That means the lids are doing their thing. And as a side note, just because they pop now doesn't mean they always seal properly when they're done. Okay, that's 7 more jars in the canning bath. Cover it up. 10 minutes. Alright, now time for the second batch to come out. Let's see if we're going to get a whole jar out of this. Alright, I know I don't have enough left in the pot to get another jar, so I'm just going to set it aside and get the third batch over here and get some jars done up. Now If you remember, this is the honey batch. Let's see, get going. Alright, the same thing as before. We've got two different batches in here, so I'm going to keep them separated. Alright, so we wound up with 9 of the second batch with almost the 10th one. I could probably seal that one, but I'm going to eat it. This batch was only about 3 3/4 pounds of apples, so I think it's going to be oops, too much. But we've got 4 jars out of it. This is jar number 5. We might be hard pressed to get jar number 6 out of it. We will see. Let's cross your fingers, see if we can squeak jar number 6 out of here. Really don't think that's going to happen. So close. A little bit more gap than we want, but we're going to go with it. it's not sitting.